In the last 7 days, I've been nicked. I'm on bail for GBH. I come out after sitting in police cells, all my cameras seized, everything seized, perverting the course of justice, attempted to remand me. I come home, sat on my sofa, stressing out because I've been accused of crimes I can now prove I didn't do anyway because I've got the recordings. And I sit there and I watch footage of Black Lives Matter, an organisation that I've researched for 7 years. I've watched, I've followed the story. You might not have done, okay? You might not know that much about them. You might have just seen it's a movement for black justice and that my comments and my angry rant may have caused you offence to think I'm ranting against black people, okay? we'll get on to the videos I watched which made me that angry, yeah? But I'll start off on Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was founded, and I don't like the media, you know that, yeah? I don't like lies. I want people to tell the truth. And I've seen lie after lie after lie being pumped by the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States. Lies that have been proven as lies, and lies which invoke racial tensions, okay? And I believe, as I've said many times, that this movement is being used to wedge division, to separate, to stop communities, which is exactly what I see happening. And me, being big mouth me, I probably played straight into their hands. I accuse your community or the black community of being used, and then I've played straight into it. But we'll get onto that. Yeah, we'll get onto that. I want to start on Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, this is off their website. Let's go on their website, yeah? So it was founded in 2013 in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, okay? Trayvon Martin was a young black boy who was shot dead. Now let me go on the website again. Let me have a look at this. This is a letter from the Black Lives Matter co-founder and strategic advisor. This is their leader, yeah? She said, "We fight for clarity and truth-telling." Well, tell the truth then, if you fight for the truth, yeah? Tell the truth. She said, "That's why when Trayvon Martin was murdered in 2013, when George Zimmerman was acquitted, my body and spirit was moved into action. I couldn't imagine how in 2013, a white passing person could kill a young boy and not be held accountable." Then she talked about white supremacy. Now, the media run with the white man killed the black boy. That's what the media run with. And they pushed it. And this was the first of me looking, thinking, when I found a picture, let me show you a picture of George Zimmerman. This is him. There's another picture of him. Does he look white to you? Okay. Why would they say he was white if he's Hispanic? Okay. They say white Hispanic in some titles, yeah? They actually say white Hispanic. Okay. So he had a white mum and a Hispanic dad, vice versa. Barack Obama's got one white parent. Is he white? Why has race been brought into this horrific shooting of a young boy, of which George Zimmerman was cleared in the court, but why has white and whiteness been brought into it? That was my first alarm bell, yeah? So I carried on following the movement anyway over the years. You may not have done. I saw the fight for justice, hands up, don't shoot. I saw the shooting of Michael Brown, where straight away the movement come out and said that he said hands up, don't shoot. And in fact, that has gone so far and that lie is still pushed now. And I say lie because it's been proven that that was never said. He didn't say hands up, don't shoot. If you just look recently at the murder of George Floyd, outside the police station, everyone's got hands up, don't shoot. Now, if you watch the murder of George Floyd, shocking, okay? Shocking. Now then you ask, was it racist? And everyone says, yeah, it was racist. I spoke to my mates. Yeah, it was racist. It was racist. Now watch this.
You got any name on them or anything?
Just Tony's the only thing we can get.
Help me! Tony!
Hey, get on the ground.
No, you're gonna kill me.
I'm not gonna kill you.
You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to change cuffs.
Okay.
That way we don't have to worry about it once he's up.
Yeah.
This video is a white individual who rang the police because he needed help. Police turned up. They sat on him for 13 minutes. I can't breathe. Help. Very familiar. Very similar, right? He died. They joked about him once he was dead. They joked about him once he was dead. I'll ask you, do you think that was racist? Do you think that murder by the police, which is what it was, do you think that murder, 13 minutes, sitting on top of him, do you think that was racist? And if you don't think that was racist, why weren't it racist? Because he was white? But yet, the George Zimmerman, when no racial things were said. So, this looks more like a personal grudge than racism. These two had history. They disliked each other. They worked together as doormen at a nightclub where they confronted each other in aggressive confrontations. Years later, he's a police officer, comes across the same man. Was the motive racism, is the question. Because that's what we're being told around the world. Or was this a rogue scumbag copper? 4 police officers were present at that moment. It's been told it's all about white supremacy. 2 of those police officers were not white. 2 of the men charged with this crime against George Floyd were not white. Let me share this story with you. The same police force, just the same year, in the same year. Justine Damond was an Australian lady. She was in her pajamas. She rang the police. Police officers attended. She said, "I'm the one that rang you." She was shot dead through her window, okay, by a black police officer. Was that racist? Was that murder racist? If you don't think it's racist, why don't you think it's racist? Was it racist? In fact, have you even heard of her? No? Have you heard of the previous killing? The white lad who they killed on the floor? Have you heard of that killing? That murder? No? So why is one racist and the others aren't? That's what so when I look at it, now you do need justice. And Justine, the police officer who shot her dead, I believe, got 12 and a half years in prison. The police officer who's killed George Floyd is facing murder charges, okay? But if you don't think one's racist, how come this, and I see it being built up and I think you're being used. And I say you're being used in the sense that I've seen Black Lives Matter in the United States. So let me go through. So I've seen all these murders. I follow what happens, yeah? I've seen all this going on. I've seen the lies told, okay? Because that's what they've been. And then I see the way it's used to push a narrative. And I listen to a lot of black commentators in the United States. I listen to lots of them who probably fit my side of politics. But as I'm listening to descriptions about Black Lives Matter to understand who this party is, these comments now might help you understand how I formed my opinion based on what's happening.
First of all, this whole anti-police rhetoric is based on a lie. There is no data, and you know this, there is no data, there is no research that proves any of that nonsense. None. Even
you'd have to be more specific about what data and what nonsense you're talking about.
that law enforcement officers treat black males different than white males in policing in these urban centers.
There is data that supports.
There is not data.
No, the president spoke about it. Cedric Alexander, who is a law
president has
enforcement
been
officer,
lying about it. He said it again the other day when he said black males are 2 times more likely to be shot by a law enforcement officer than white males. Don, that is a lie.
The Black Lives Matter organization is a hate group, period. Full, and not everybody, but the majority of the people that I see that are doing the negative stuff are racist individuals. And I can almost bet my life that if the roles were reversed and these people were chanting death to black people or illegal immigrants, the world will come to an end. If they were going, and they are going around talking about hating white people, it makes me sick to my stomach that we live in a society where it's openly acceptable to be racist against white people. I was watching James T. Harris' show today. I was listening to it on the radio, and there's a caller they called in. I don't know his name. I want to give him props and credit for what he said. He said that black people don't want justice. They want revenge. This is exactly what you're seeing. They want revenge. They don't want to know if he had a gun or not. They want to burn property and hurt people. I saw a kid on TV the other day walking by the cameraman. He said, all white people are evil. All white people are devils. If somebody said that about black people, the president of the United States would be right now. He probably flew down there condemning racist behavior. But for some reason, if you're a protected species, you can be racist against anybody and nobody's going to ever challenge you. Somehow you're justified in calling white people and making it seem like every white person is a racist. Every white person somehow has privilege.
you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent. It matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right? Black men, 6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2018 statistics. That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation in a community where we are extreme minorities. We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population, okay? So we have a lot more encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder, 44% of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay? We commit, on average, a police officer is 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. Okay, so this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus black because it's an election year, not because black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police officers do the wrong thing? Yes. I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping, whether you are black or white. We know they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes human beings suck.
But look here, this whole Black Lives Matter, why I can't get down with this organization? Main reason, your whole narrative that police officers are hunting down black men on a daily. Yeah, like it's a purge, right? Is that Black Lives Matter, that was built on a lie. Remember this? Hands up. Don't shoot. Yeah, Mr. Brown, the guy that got Ferguson riots. That initially, when that story broke, they said the cops just got out the car and just started shooting. Hands up, don't shoot. That was a lie. That was witnesses. That's why that cop didn't go down for that, because there was white and black witnesses that came out and said, no, this dude was out of control. That was a fight for us, like he had to kill him.
That's up to Black Lives Matter. That's not me. I'm neither a member of Black Lives Matter, I'm neither a supporter or someone who doesn't support them. I simply report on Black Lives Matter.
Do you condemn the anti-police rhetoric coming from this hateful ideology?
As a journalist sitting here on television, I don't have to condemn anyone, anything. That is something that you should ask other people around the country.
I condemn
their
them
jobs to condemn
just
that.
like I condemn the hateful ideology out of groups like the KKK. All right? I condemn it. There is no place in American discourse for that sort of vile, vitriolic hate coming out of this ideology.
How in the world, how on God's green earth are you protesting the death of one man, which leads to you destroying the lives of multiple other black people, multiple black businesses, destroying the economic success of multiple cities all around the country, and you have fervor, you have energy, you have passion when the black man get killed by a white police officer, yet, when the brother kill a brother, you don't care. When the police officer, former police officer, 77-year-old man, retired captain on the police department, done spent 38 years of his life protecting and serving, show up to a call for service, because you know when you a cop and when you serve people that long, it ain't just a job, it's in your spirit. Show up to protect the pawn shop, being a good Samaritan, a good citizen, a good man, a good father, a good grandfather, a good leader in the community, and you show up because you want a TV, and you take that man's life and y'all video record him losing his life. Nobody renders aid. And the man who did this probably ain't never gonna get caught because y'all won't even snitch. What have you accomplished? What have you accomplished? I'm not understanding the logic behind the way people act today in America. I'm sick of seeing black folks, and I'm white people, I'm gonna get to you next. I'm sick of seeing black folks being so disingenuous, being dishonest about their affairs, that they have the whole world kissing their toenails for falsehoods. Most black people that are honest, I'm not talking about black people that want to be down with the crew, you want to hang out, you want to still keep your black card. I'm talking about brothers that are honest. No, you don't have no negative interaction with police. You may not like that you were stopped on the traffic stop because you know you were speeding, but you didn't think he caught you, but he caught you, and now you want to argue with him as if it didn't happen. Most black people do not have negative interactions with police officers. 44 million black people in the United States of America, and new 2019, 9 African Americans were shot who were unarmed. Everybody knows that just because you're unarmed don't mean you're not a threat. But for the sake of argument, only 9 people have had a negative interaction with a police officer that led to their death out of 44 million black people in this country. Go to 2020, this year, there's been 3, and Breonna Taylor is one of them. And she got caught up in a warrant in the crossfire for miscommunication with her boyfriend, who she didn't tell that she was knee deep in the drug game, and that they're either going to be the police or some thugs coming to take drugs out of the house. He ends up shooting a police officer.
Now, the facts are, now those facts, statistics, they are quite important when people are getting so angry, when people are going so mad, because I spoke out against BLM. Most people don't know why. You probably didn't know a lot of this. Yeah, you probably don't if you watch this video. Let's listen to Larry Elder. Listen to what he has to say. You are more likely in the United States to be killed by the police in a wrongful killing being white than you are black. You wouldn't have thought that, would you? With the media stories and what you're being told. You're literally being told, and I don't blame you for getting angry. You're literally being told, you're being lied to. You're literally being told that black people are being hunted on the streets and just murdered for being black. Now, that's not to deny there may be rogue cops out there. There may be racist cops out there. There may be. Yeah? But the statistics show you're more likely to die if you're white. And we'll listen to Larry anyway.
Watching these protests, I'm still hearing protesters say, hands up, don't shoot. Aren't you? Donahue also referred to the Harvard professor I've been telling you about, Rolling Fryer. Team of researchers spent 3,000 hours collecting data, prepared for the National Bureau of Economic Research. That's the organization that the government uses to determine the business cycle. They examined more than 1,000 shootings in 10 major police departments in Texas, Florida, and California. Quote, on the most extreme use of force, officer-involved shootings, we find no racial differences in either the raw data or when contextual factors are taken into account. It is the most surprising result of my career, end of quote. And I told you about the one that was peer-reviewed that's in the publication put out by the National Academy of Sciences. Researchers from Michigan State, Arizona State. Published, Is There Evidence of Racial Disparity in Police Use of Force? Collected data 2015-2016. Quote, when adjusting for crime, we find no systemic evidence of anti-black disparities in fatal shootings of unarmed citizens, or fatal shootings involving misidentification of harmless objects, end of quote. Isn't that good news? Isn't this something we ought to be happy about? Heather McDonald, National Review. There is no epidemic of racist police shootings. Talked about the same research. It just isn't true. And again, according to the CDC, over a period of 45, 55 years, police killings of blacks down 75%. Meanwhile, FBI surveys show that out of about 500,000 interracial violent crimes. I'm not talking about homicides. Blacks commit anywhere from 85 to 90% of them. Only 10% the other way around. In 2008, for example, out of 520,161 interracial black-white violent crimes, again, not counting murder, blacks committed 429,444. Whites committed 90,717. More than 90%, almost 90% of all the interracial, non-violent, non-homicide violent crimes, black perp. Is this thing on?
Hand in hand. I don't know who committed this crime, but believe me, once we find out, this person will be brought to justice.
Are you getting a sense of authority that this was one shooter? This was a white police officer gunning down 3 blacks and injuring 4. Wilson High School will be set on fire, and every black leader, every community leader will be up here. Black Lives Matter, hands up. Blacks are murdering blacks every 32 hours since June. I've been in this town all my life. I'm 56 years old. I am afraid of being shot and gunned down by a black. Again, if this was a white police officer shooting and killing 3 blacks, people will be out here, the school will be on fire, people will be coming forward saying, I saw this white police officer. But because it's black on black crime, it is socially acceptable for blacks not to talk to the police. It is appalling. And every 32 hours since June, blacks been murdering blacks. And y'all guys got to do a better job.
You may not be aware, and we hear Black Lives Matter. Let me show you this video now.
OG, he gone, bro. He gone, bro. Over some TVs, cuz.
That's a 77-year-old called David Dawn, who was shot and murdered by looters in the last 2 weeks, okay? Killed in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you've followed this story, I have, okay? Watch that video. He's been murdered. Does his life not matter? That's what I'm trying to understand. Black Lives Matter. Do the black lives only matter when they're at the hands of a white man that's killed them? When it can fit a narrative and an agenda to be pushed to cause total division between us all? Between us all. To fit an argument to cause division, because that's all it's doing, okay? Does his life not matter? What about these other men? Let's put a picture up of the 4 of them. These 4 black men have all been killed in the last 2 weeks. Was you aware of that? Murdered by looters. Murdered by people in the name of George Floyd. This is 4 more families without a son, without a father. 4 more black families really affected. So I'm watching all of this develop. I watched George Floyd's brother come out and speak.
I'm proud of the protest, but I'm not proud of the destruction. My brother wasn't about that. The Floyds is a God-fearing family.
Here he is saying that George would not agree with this. That George wouldn't want this. People being murdered, places being torched. Who does it affect? The black community, we're seeing that. But what happened to Black Lives Matter? That just goes out the window. Now, if Black Lives Matter, what about this lady's business?
Problem that bothers me, you says Black Lives Matter. I've worked here part-time. Plus, I'm a part owner of this store. You said Black Lives Matter. Why don't you choke me? I'm black.
Tell him, sister.
Look what you did to my store.
Tell him, sister.
Look what you did to my store.
Tell them, sister. That's right, because I got they back. These are my dudes right here. Good
Look
men.
at the things you've done.
Good men.
Look.
The Black Lives Matter.
We've been here all night cleaning up. All night cleaning.
And you got black people standing right here with them. Black
Tell
people.
me
That's right.
Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
You lied. You wanted to loot the store. You needed money. Get a job like I do. Stop stealing. This is the neighborhood. We're trying to build it up and you tearing it down.
What about this lady? I'm going to show you a lady now who's having a right go at all the protesters. She's in her community, destroying her community. I'm watching all of this unfold. I've watched every second of this. Have a watch.
Black Lives Matter is a joke.
Yep.
You are the racist. The racist is you. It's because the white guy killed that you think they're racist. The racist, the Black Lives Matter. Go to Chicago. They don't have schools.
I don't give a fuck.
And they die every day. They don't matter.
They don't have
Because you can get attention from that. Go to Southeast,
Shut up! Nobody wanna hear that! Shut up!
Group of hypocrites. Go to Southeast DC, Northeast, tell them Black Lives Matter. If it matters, it should matter everywhere. You guys are hypocrites. Attention seekers.
Shut up!
Attention seekers. Black lives should matter everywhere. It doesn't take a white cop to kill a black person to matter.
That's the effect it's having on black people. This is race baiting identity politics being played out, okay, for electoral purposes in the United States. Now, when it's in the United States, it wound me up. When it lands on my shore, I'm worried, okay, because I've seen the identity politics go on there for nearly 8 years, yeah, and everything becomes about race. And that's probably because there's been massive race problems in the United States. Black people have been oppressed. I can understand it, okay? But there's so many black commentators who are coming out against it as well, against Black Lives Matter. So is it a racist opinion to disagree with Black Lives Matter? You've heard from all these people, okay? Unless you think they're all racist as well. Now, let's listen to some of the things. This is the crowd in London. Have a look at that. That's a black hand punching a white face. Now I ask you, if you're one of my mates, lads, big man, I'm talking to you because I actually made this specifically for you, yeah? I made this specifically for you, bruv. We've been mates since I was 11 years old. What do you mean, you don't want to talk to me? I mean, look at that, okay? This black hand punching that white face. Is that racist? Is it? You tell me, man. Have a look at this war memorial. Fuck white people. Is that racist? Have a look at this from the United States. Kill the white folks. Kill the white folks during the riots, okay? What about this?
Fuck the police. Y'all are youth. What does it feel like to be youth out here?
It's bad, bro. Well, fuck white people, bro. They bad as fuck, bro. Like, bro.
Fuck white people. Is that racist? Let me show you this white man who's protecting his shop. Kicked near to death. Is that a racist attack? Is it? This is Black Lives Matter. This is what they're doing. Let me show you this. This is why I was angry. Okay, let me show you. Watch this next video now.
Hey, leave him alone!
That's a man in a wheelchair with no legs, probably lost them serving his country, maybe, okay, possibly, beaten and punched and kicked to the floor, battered. Is that acceptable? Is it? What about this? This is another white couple trying to protect their shop, an old couple, okay? But it hasn't really stopped at race, because if you're white or black and try and protect your shop, you're getting killed out there, yeah? We've seen that. So this lady, it's a female, battered. Watch the video. This next lovely lady is a Black Lives Matter activist, okay? Listen to what she's got to say.
To kill a white baby. The less white babies on this planet, the less of you we got, boo.
The blood is on
I hope they kill all the white babies. Kill them all right now. Yeah. Kill them. Kill your grandkids. Kill yourself. Coffin, bitch. Go lay in the coffin. Kill yourself. I rebuke these nuts that you ain't got.
Is that okay? Is it racist? Reverse the roles? What would you think? This is the movement, lads. This is what I'm saying to you, okay? I've watched this movement, so when I'm getting angry and I'm going BLM, I've seen all this stuff. Watch this next one. Here's the rioters. Here's the looters. Here's the Black Lives Matter movement. Watch them.
If they white, if they white, they white, get their ass. Hurry that bitch up. Hey,
They beating up every white person. They jumping every white person. Man, no white person come down Sherman. He white. Beat this shit, bitch. That's what it's hard. Look. Hey, look. White boy. They beating up every white person. They beating up every. They made the squad cars leave. They not. They beat somebody's ass. Look, they beat somebody's ass, y'all. Look. Look. Look, bro, look. Oh, look, y'all, look. Oh my God, look. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, look. Who they just beat up, bro? Now see, this ain't on the clip. I think they just beat some white bitch ass for no reason. They bust her window and everything.
You heard that? Black power, black power. She's white. Get the whites, get the white, get the white. An innocent white woman driving her car. They got her. Do you agree with that? Do you see why I was angry with watching all of these things? I watched all of this. All of it. So when Black Lives Matter comes to the UK, I know what it's about. I know who funds it. I know what its objections are, what it wants to do, and it's doing it, and I walk straight into it, so that's just stupid again. But what do you think, lads? Do you think that's racist? Problematic? Do you want that in the UK? All of this has happened in the last 10 days even, yeah? I'm following it. I don't know if you've watched all of this. I have. I've watched every second of what's going on out there. Now, I'll show you something, yeah? And you tell me if this is acceptable. Gravestones. Attacking gravestones. Is that acceptable? Do you think that's acceptable? Now, the main thing that I was mainly annoyed about, I've seen this identity politics, I've seen this racism. In fact, let's have a look at the founder. I've missed this part. Let's have a look at the founder of Black Lives Matter. Let's have a look at her tweet. Okay, so the founder wants to just kill white folks. Not white supremacists, not racist white police, just white folks. Another founder of Black Lives Matter. So the organisation, the banner that everyone's marching under, the leader says, white people are subhuman genetic defects. Now to my pal that's unhappy with me, your mum's white. They're talking about your mum. You know the video there? You didn't see that video of the white woman getting dragged out of her car? If your mother drove down that road, these BLM supporters would have dragged your mother out of the car. This is my problem with this banner and organisation. When I say the media are using it, they are, okay? Have a look at this speech now from Anthony Joshua.
We need to be united in non-violent demonstrations, show them where it hurts, abstain from spending your money in their shops and in economies and invest in black-owned businesses.
Where does Anthony Joshua get this idea from? This idea that he mistakenly said? Straight from Black Lives Matter. Straight from their divisive tactics. Have a listen.
Black Lives Matter now calling for a boycott of, quote, white capitalism this Christmas season. On its website, it says, quote, make this Christmas a black Christmas. No spending with white corporations. Consider donating to black organizations. If you must buy black. Hashtag curb your consumerism. Let's bring in former Milwaukee County Sheriff. He is America's Sheriff. He's David Clark. Good to see you, Sheriff. What's your reaction?
Well, there's going to be a whole lot of young black kids that are going to be disappointed on Christmas morning when they wake up and find no Air Jordans under the tree. Most of those are sold by white-owned businesses. And for higher-end blacks that like the labels, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, I guess not this year. Look, this has George Soros funding written all over it. His movement, the anti-capitalist movement, the socialist movement, has hijacked Black Lives Matter, and they use them as a mask. They figured that coming out of the 60s when they failed with this movement, they felt that they were too white and they needed to add color, and they did that this time around by hijacking the Black Lives Matter movement for their anti-socialist, anti-capitalist and socialist movement.
If a white boxer stood up and said exactly what he said and reversed the races, he actually tells black people don't shop in white people's businesses. Yeah? If a white boxer said that, would you call him racist? Would you say it's racist? Let me show you the Daily Mirror and Sky Sports talk about Anthony Joshua's speech. A passionate speech. That's a racist speech, bruv. It's racist, come on, man. You can't deny it. And Anthony Joshua, I see it as hypocritical. Anthony Joshua's 5 top sponsors are white men. He takes his money from white men, but he don't want you to give any business into white people's shops. But Anthony Joshua had the opportunity. You know, stand there. He could have stood there and said, I'm a multi-millionaire. Yeah? I'm a black multi-millionaire. Right? He could have said, the only time I crossed paths with the law was when I was involved in drug dealing and crime. Because he was. Yeah? He could have told you that. And then he could have said, you know what, even after I got involved in the law and went through the system, I got a second chance. I come out. I boxed for Britain. The country supported me. They helped me. He could have said that millions of white people across this country all sell out stadiums everywhere he goes. Majority white support. He could have said, I show you that it can work with hard work, dedication. I'm a success story. Instead, he chose to tell a black crowd not to shop in white businesses. So I'm asking you again, mate. I'm asking you, lads. Do you think that's right, what he said? And just because what's gone on's wrong to black people historically, I'm asking if these things are right, that I've watched all of them of. Yeah. As I said, black officers getting murdered, white people getting killed at their shops, all of this going on. Now, then we get on to what I ranted about, okay? Because I've seen all of this. I've seen Anthony Joshua's speech. I've seen no condemnation from anyone. No one has condemned him for being racist in a speech. No one at all. Have a look at this private conversation that was private by Anthony Joshua messaging another boxer saying he's a disgrace to the black superior race. Read his message. This is Anthony Joshua, the icon, okay? He's talking about black superior race. Imagine a white boxer was talking about white superior race. What would you say? Anthony Joshua is telling people not to shop at white people's shops. Is that right? So the black race is superior. You've seen it in his message. That's what he believes. So he believes your dad's superior than your mum. Do you believe that? Is that right? Is that racist? So he doesn't just believe this. By the way, he tried saying he was hacked. Yeah, he was hacked on these private messages, and he read someone else's speech when he told people not to shop at white people's shops. This is an icon. This is an icon. Billy Joe Saunders makes a bit of a banter video during lockdown, and he's lost his boxing license. Anthony Joshua continually, these racist, blatantly racist. If it was a white boxer saying the same, you know, I know, he'd have lost his license. What is this then? Is this white privilege or is this black privilege? Is this acceptable? Do you agree with it? And I don't want Anthony Joshua, don't get me confused here. I don't want him to lose his boxing license. I want to see Tyson Fury finish the man. Yeah? So I don't want to see it. I don't want that. All right? But what I'm saying is, I haven't seen you condemn it. I haven't seen anyone condemn it, actually. And if you've got more angry, which many people have, with me, yeah, than all of the things I've just showed you, all of this hatred, all of this racism, all of this violence and murder and oppression of the black community themselves, you're being played. People say you don't want to be played. You're being played by the white man. George Soros is playing you all to fight his war of socialism, of politics. Nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Do the Black Lives Matter in London when the young boys are stabbing each other and killing each other? Do they not matter? Why are they not talking about that? Why are we not trying to stop that? How many kids are dying every day? How many kids are dying in this knife crime problem? Do their lives not matter? Or do they only matter when it can be pinned and used for a narrative and pumped to cause massive division? In the last 7 days, did you see the footage yesterday from Coventry? We have gone backwards 50 years. 50 years, and you're being played. Okay? No one has condemned many of these actions. In fact, the media have apologised for them or hid them or not showed them. Have a look at this. This is where the media come in and they're pushing the narrative. Look at the BBC. So they cut out the weapon being used to hit a police officer. Why? Would they cut out that weapon being used to hit a police officer if that was on one of my organised demonstrations? Now, are you okay with the defacing of memorials? Let's start on Winston Churchill's. Let's have a look what happened to it. Vandalised multiple times now, okay? BLM, do you see what that sign is next to it? That's an anarchist sign, a far left organisation who want anarchy. They want the same as Black Lives Matter, not the same as you. Tell me, let's go on Black Lives Matter's website, yeah? Here they state clearly they want to defund the police. They want to get rid of the police force. Do you think it's a good idea to just get rid of the police? Imagine Luton without no police, man. Come on, boys. This is what the party say. This is what the organisations say. Not the fact of every one of you joining on the streets is not there for a good reason. Yeah, you're there for the right reason. But if an organisation had formed in the United States that was majority white, that the leader and the founder said kill black people, that then come on the streets of our country and held up signs of pictures of black people being beaten up, and then had all these comments about the only... Let me show you comments of a young girl when police are walking through.
Oh my God. Yo, what the fuck?
Black lives matter.
All lives matter. No, all lives don't matter, sir. Black lives matter.
So she says all lives don't matter. In her view, because this is the racial problem that's being promoted now, the segregation that's being driven, all lives don't matter. Only black lives. Now, I believe all lives. Let me show you another American woman who's fed up with this as well. And she's fed up with it because of the statistics on crime. Let's play her.
I had to bury my son because of black on black crime. 4 fucking years old. I had to bury my man because of black on black crime. I had to bury my brother because of black on black crime. Fuck your Black Lives Matter. Fucking respect the badge. Nigga, the police tell you get on the fucking ground, you lay on the fucking ground. Respect the fucking badge. That's the problem. Ain't no fucking order in this fucking world. Fuck you and your Black Lives Matter.
Where does this race baiting identity politics pushed on narratives of lies, where does it take us? Where's all this winding everyone up, getting everyone angry, causing division? Where does it bring us? Let me show you another video.
It's telling me about you 400 years of fucking slavery. Huh? Record this. Are you stupid? Huh? 400 years of slavery to be posted fucking while you're Tuesday. Come on.
That young boy, battered, kicked all over, 400 years of slavery they're talking to him about. This is where it brings us. Was that a racist attack? You tell me. Do you think that was a racist attack? Let me show you another one. These are both this week. They're both this week, yeah? Let me show you this one.
This nigga are mashed up, fam. Mashed up.
No, stop. Stop.
Guy, this nigga are fucked. Guy. Oh my god. Guy. Mad. Guy, you talking? Shush, bitch. Shush, man. Move, boy, Wally. Guys.
Better know, boy.
Mad. Steven, stop, boy. Oh my god, Steven, are you retired, boy? You're shanking this fiend. Look at the blood, fam.
You see them stab him there? Young boy with his girlfriend's laying over him. They were just waiting for a bus. Battered, stabbed by a young group of black youths who make comments about their own races, yeah? In another video, because they battered someone else as well, in a separate video again, yeah? Now, this is where it brings us. Now, I'll ask you, have you heard that boy's name getting stabbed there? Do you know who he is? Is there a hashtag for him? Is there a march for him? Is there a protest to him? Does his life matter? Maybe it doesn't, as the girl says. Maybe his life don't matter. But does it matter? Do you think it matters? Do you think that's a racist attack? If George Floyd's murder's racist, how come this? Maybe you don't think this is racist, do you? Is it? What I'm saying is when we get into race identity politics, which is all we're seeing, and all we talk about is race, then just those 2 attacks there would be deemed, everyone would be crying out racist. Everyone would. But that's where we're at. Dangerous. Okay, we're on to the war memorials. So Winston Churchill's statue has been defaced multiple times with BLM sprayed on it, anarchist signs. Who do you think sprayed that on there? Who do you think? I'll tell you what I think. I think a middle class, white, liberal, left-wing activist for someone like Antifa. Let me show you another video from the United States now, yeah?
I want you to know this is not...
Don't police people's way of
Let me tell you this.
themselves.
This is not a black woman who's putting Black Lives Matter. I just want you to know that when... Right, but y'all doing that for us and we ain't asked you to do that. Listen, don't spray stuff on here when they gonna blame black people for this and black people didn't do it.
So as you can see, white people spraying BLM and the black women are not happy because they're going to get the blame. Who's had the blame? And if you don't think division's been caused because of the attack on memorials, look at this picture. No, really, have a look at it. It's a bronze memorial of the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry Regiment. Can you see the black soldiers? This is the first civic monument to pay homage to the heroism of African American soldiers during the American Civil War. The war between Republicans and Democrats. The war that Republicans won. The war that freed the blacks from slavery. Okay, you see that? Look clearly at it. This was a black regiment fighting in the Civil War. Now look at this Civil War monument now. This is why I'm annoyed and frustrated. This is a monument that recounts the sacrifice of black and white soldiers fighting for the emancipation of slaves in America during the Civil War. Now look at this war memorial. What a desecration of the war dead who fought against slavery. Can you see the BLM sprayed on it? Can you see all of this? Is that right? Is it right? Is it okay to do it on our war memorials and not on this war memorial? It's not right. And this is what we're witnessing everywhere. It's just not right. What if this was defaced? That's Nelson Mandela's statue. What? And tell me the truth, man. What would you say if that was defaced? Would you be upset? Would you say it's racist? Would you say it's wrong? Do you think it's wrong? Okay. So Mandela is remembered for fighting against apartheid. What do Black Lives Matter, the organisation, not you, not every one of you on the street, but what do the organisation that you're marching under the banner of, what do they want to bring back? Let's have a look.
Memorial Day is a great holiday for bringing Americans together, unless you decide to promote segregation while you do it. A Black Lives Matter group in New York City threw a Memorial Day party and barred anyone who was not black from attending. This is what they said: being intentional about being around black people is an act of resistance. This is an exclusively black space, so if you do not identify as black and want to come because you love black people, please respect the space and do not come. Lisa Durden is a political commentator and Black Lives Matter supporter. She joins us tonight. Lisa, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Good to see you again. You're doing well.
Thank you. I was confused by this because I thought the whole point of Black Lives Matter, one of the points, would be to speak out against singling people out on the basis of their race and punishing them for that. Because you can't control what your race is, and yet they seem to be doing that. Explain that to me.
What I say to that is boo-hoo-hoo. You white people are angry because you couldn't use your white privilege card to get invited to the Black Lives Matters All Black Memorial Day celebration. Wow. Let me contextualize that for you. Memorial Day was created by...
I don't want you to... Wait, slow down. First of all, I don't want you to contextualize.
Oh, I need to contextualize it because Memorial Day was created by black former slaves in 1865 to honor those individuals who were Union soldiers who fought and died for our freedom. So Black Lives Matter, in that same vein, decided to get together with black folks.
I'm not going to let you filibuster past my question.
To make sure that black folks were celebrated for being murdered by racist terrorists.
I don't want to shut this down, but I will. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I just have a really simple question for you. If you don't like people excluding others on the basis of their race, and as a society we agree that that's bad. I agree it's bad. You agree it's bad. Then why are you doing it? And why are you defending it now?
White folks crack me up all of a sudden when we want to have one day for black folks to focus on ourselves. But you've been having White Day forever. You don't say the words anymore because you know it's politically incorrect. But you've had an all-white Oscars, all these movies with all-white actors, movie after movie after movie, all-white TV shows with white cast over and over and over again. The Bachelorette, it took 11 seasons of a black bachelorette. Are you serious?
It's hard to believe. I hope you're not speaking for anyone else. I hope there aren't a lot of people in this country who agree with you.
Well, my name is Lisa Durden. I'm speaking for Lisa Durden.
I just hope there aren't people watching who agree with you, because what you're saying is so hostile and separatist and crazy. It's such a basic violation of what I thought we all agreed on, which is you don't attack people for things they can't control, namely their race.
It's not an attack. I'm stating the facts.
So we'll reintroduce apartheid, shall we? Do you actually believe in this? Was you actually aware of this? Because this is the banner you're all marching under. This is the BLM that I was angry with. I don't believe in this separation, this segregation, this division. I don't believe in it. And you're marching under it. Now, my mate said, yeah, but you don't know what Churchill said about black people. That statue for Winston Churchill is there because he led our country in its darkest hour. He was the man of the moment, the man of the hour. That was the he was the man. Without him, we'd all be German. And you certainly wouldn't be here, lads. Yeah? Okay? Without him. Without his intervention. Now, he may have said bad things about Indians. Bloody hell, I went to Dresden and spoke about Winston Churchill, yeah? They all attacked me. They said he's a war criminal. Every side of a fence will have a different view. That statue's not there because of what he said about Indians or what he said about black people. That statue's there because in our darkest hour, when we lost millions of British men and women, when that happened, he led us. It's there as a symbol of that struggle and fight. And to honour his leadership at that time. Yeah. Now Nelson Mandela, he is a symbol. After 27 years fighting apartheid, he then forgave his white oppressors. Yeah. He's a symbol to everyone in that struggle and that battle and that fight. But he was labelled as a communist terrorist by many governments. He was involved in planting bombs. Whoever you pick fault at, whichever statue you choose, you can find good pros and cons. My mum's Irish. My family could go through British history against the Irish, where the Irish were oppressed. And then what? Shall we go start ripping down statues of people who were in charge at that time? Where do you draw the line? That's my point. Where do you draw the line? Because every man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist. So Nelson Mandela, would it be acceptable? No, it wouldn't be acceptable. I don't believe it would be acceptable. I believe that statue doesn't need to be pulled down. Okay? But Winston Churchill, it's not acceptable, lads. And black men. Here's a picture of a vet. This black vet had come out. Here's another picture. To protect those statues. Now, okay, if you've got an argument about what Winston Churchill said, what about this cenotaph? This cenotaph is in remembrance of all those who died, including the black men from the Commonwealth who fought for our country, including the Sikhs, including all of the non-whites that fought as part of the British, who fought against Hitler, who fought in the world wars. Now, you see the cenotaph? You answer this. Is this acceptable? There's a man. Okay, it's been spray painted BLM on the cenotaph. On the cenotaph. What's the argument with the cenotaph? Okay, that there is to remember everyone. We all have relatives. Our family lines would have died fighting in that war. It's not right. It's not right. And I don't think any of you agree it's right. Well, it's setting fire to the flag on it. What's that got to do with George Floyd's death? What's looting and robbing got to do with George Floyd's death? What's killing more black police officers got to do with George Floyd's death? What's smashing up black businesses got to do with George Floyd's death? What have all of these things got to do? So I am feeling frustrated for a week. Least of all without getting nicked because someone spits in my face and then facing prison again and all these bail conditions. I can't do anything. So I'm frustrated anyway. And yeah, on the video, my head explodes. Yeah, it exploded because I watched. And I saw and I said, right, we're going to get down there. We need to get down there. And then I've watched it play out. And what's played out is the clip where I say you're ripping down statues in Bristol. I don't really give a shit about that statue in Bristol. Yeah, I didn't know the history of it. Didn't even know who it was. I've read the history about the attempts to get a plaque put to identify his involvement in slavery, which has failed and failed and failed and failed and failed. Now, it was all white people who ripped down that statue. I think there's one black person in there. But it was all white people in Bristol that ripped down that statue. Now, I don't really care about that statue, okay? But I do care, and I do get upset, and my head does explode when I see our cenotaphs that represents everyone being graffitied and attacked, and you're being used. Your community's being used. And yeah, I've come out and I've sort of like, the message has gone out basically that I've called it on with Black Lives Matter, which Black Lives Matter, okay, as an organisation, I've showed you some of the parts of the organisation. It's a Marxist organisation, okay? It's the name that brings it into the total and what they're arguing for, but there's a lot of problems with that organisation, okay? And it looks like I've called it on with the black community. And I haven't, okay? And I wear the hat. I wear the hat. I talk about Islam. Many Muslims don't like it. Many jihadis, there's some in jail doing 30 years who plan to kill me, yeah? And I wear that hat with a smile, right? Because I believe in that wholeheartedly, yeah? And I don't back down from threats or intimidation. And I actually pride myself on that because I just go like that to everyone, yeah? I don't really care, right? But I do care. And these last couple of days, I care when my best mates are feeling disappointed. And I want to give them, I hope this shows you what I've watched, because you haven't watched it. And you might not have watched it. You might think, hold on, what's he coming out against us for? Yeah? I'm coming out against the actions that I see, which is race-baiting politics and racism and extremism and violence, which has come from United States politics straight into London. And then within a couple of days, we're seeing police officers, mate, I've had run-ins with the police my whole life. Yeah? They've hammered me. Right? I haven't got a good word to say about what the way they've targeted me. The government, I despise them. If you were smashing up Parliament, right? But when I see innocents or war memorials, I get angry. Now I've gone out and called it on, and I'm a stubborn bastard as well, where I don't like backing down. And I don't back down. And I don't like backing down. But I don't want to wear the hat. I'm happy to wear the anti-Islam hat. Yeah, I'm happy, all right? I'm against Islam. I talk out against it. And I don't care who it upsets, yeah? I'm not happy to wear a hat that makes it seem like I'm against the black community, because I'm totally not. And that's not because of any threats, because I don't give a shit, lads, yeah? It's not because of any threats. It's because, principally, that's not who I am. Now, I hope you understand when you're watching this, and I've said I'm going to be in London to defend the war memorial, yeah? And I have said that in a fit of rage. And the reality being that my presence in London now, and many of the young black lads that are going to go, are going because they think they're defending the black community from people who are coming to attack them, because that's how it's gone out. I've seen how a 20-second clip, people, and hope not hate, the same organisations that I'm saying are using you, are then saying football hooligans plan attacks on the black community. That's not the truth, but I realised that my presence in London would be detrimental to racial tensions. The last thing I want is clashes between members who support me, and there's black people coming. I think we've got black pastors coming with us, yeah, that we did have. I've now sat and watched the way this has played out, and I don't think it's the right move. And I generally don't think it's the right move. And not just don't think it's the right move, I don't want to be responsible for more racial division, because I can't say you're being used by left-wing politics and left-wing politicians from the Democrat Party to push this agenda, to then be used by the Labour Party to push this agenda, and then me walk straight into it and do the job that they want done, which is cause a massive conflict between whites and non-whites. I don't want to do that, right? So I've made the video. I'm not going to be in London on Saturday, okay? I'm not going to be there. Not because, I don't even know their names, man, all these little rappers and that are fucking putting things up, yeah? Not because of any of that, all right? But lads, I'll tell you why, truthfully. I've been looking at £100,000 reward, so I appreciate it, because you valued my life worth a lot more than any of the Muslims' prices are put on me. So OBD, is it? Cheers for the upgrade in my price. But generally, and I'm seeing famous rappers and that, do you know the reason why I don't want to go, or why now I make the decision I'm not going? It's because I've got no beef with the black community. I've got a beef with Islam, and I don't try to hide it. I don't try to deny it. I wear it happily. I wear it with pride, actually, for what I stand up in. But the way this has gone, 48 hours, I don't want a clash with the black community over what they see or what they're fighting for, which is real injustice throughout history. But I believe you're being used. I believe your community is being used. I believe the violence doesn't help you. I believe attacking war memorials is causing a massive division. I don't even believe that the people who are spraying BLM are probably black. I don't believe they are. I believe they're white. I believe that the anti-fascist organisations are in there, or these Antifa are about to be prescribed as a terrorist organisation. They have a key role in what's happening here. Yeah. So again, I know many ex-veterans are going to stand guard at the War Memorial. I've seen it was cleaned the next day by, I believe, members of the Irish Guards, black and white soldiers. I just ask you, lads, when I lost my head, I said, you see those pictures? Again, let's show you them again. Bang, bang, look at this, man. Does that not anger you? That's done in your name. That's done in your name. And it angered me. It frustrated me. So there you go. When I started the English Defence League, and bro, I'm addressing you still, man. Let's watch this video, because you're standing next to me in it.
A message to Anjan Chowdhury. We, the English Defence League, we will contest your conduct as our forefathers did, relentlessly pursuing you in our quest to see all Sharia banished from our great democratic country. Long live the free.
So we burned the Nazi flag, didn't we? Let's have a look at the banners we held up. Black and white unite. Now think of this. What's happened in the United States and what's come here? Say the KKK rebranded as White Lives Matter. Something a lot of people could say, yeah, White Lives Matter, okay? Because the name is so great. Black Lives Matter, they do matter, of course they matter. But what, white lives don't? Other lives don't? We made it clear, black and white unite together. We incorporated everybody. We didn't separate, segregate. That's what this organisation's doing. And lads, I hear people are disappointed with me. I'm disappointed that so many are going under this flag. Of what you're seeing is hatred. Of what you're seeing is separation. That's what the organisation's about. Do you believe in this? I hope that you've heard and you see how my viewpoint, lads, of what I've watched for the last week, 2 weeks, of murders, of racism, of violence, and then it's in our capital city and they're targeting our war memorials. Not bothered about the clown in Bristol. I don't really give a shit, right? But there's two sides to every argument, and I think there's a dangerous slope to just get into mob rule of rioting and smashing up. And I know now there's another 200 statues being named. Listen to this. The organisation that's named to rip down the statues is called the Anti-Trump Campaign. In the UK. The organisation to rip down the statues in the UK, and I'll show you it here, is all about being against Donald Trump politics. This is politics. This has been used. I hope I've covered everything. And yeah, so that's basically it. And the worst thing is that I know that, and you know what? Some of the videos have been absolutely brilliant as well. Some of the banter videos that have been made on this instance. I'm going to finish it on one of these. But before I get there, I'm going to finish it on one because it's just genius. Yeah? Was you aware, if you're marching through London under the banner of Black Lives Matter, are you aware that it's to defund the police? Are you aware that it's to attack capitalism? Are you aware of the political ideology that's involved in this? Or are you just going out because you want to talk against the oppression of black people, which is a righteous thing to do? But I'm just saying, when I've ranted, when I've raved, it's because I'm aware of all of this. I've watched it all. I've followed it all. And it's race baiting politics in the UK, and it's causing a massive division. And I hold my hands up, yeah, in my little angry little man rant, yeah. I've played my part in that. And I'm pissed off with myself for it, to be honest. I'm not pissed off for saying that this is wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, because it's wrong. I'm pissed off at how it's gone and how it's portrayed and the fact that it's causing a division, and I don't want to see a division between white and black or anyone. I want to see everyone together, and we have a strong relationship across this country, the black and white community, of being united. And I've had that my whole life in Luton. So I hope that clears a few things up. Just add in this little bit in at the end because I've just watched this video. At least this dude gets it, right? And I rushed in. He gets it. Have a listen to what this lad's got to say. And he don't like me, mate. If I see ya, maybe you're going to try and kick me up the arse, yeah? But at least he gets it. Don't let him play us all.
Black Lives Matter as an organisation is causing more racial tension and divide in this country than anything else you can think of. And he was also right about the people who are funding the organisation. Do I like this guy? No. I'll probably be the first to slap his face off if I saw him. Fact. Those who know me know this is true talk. However, I am someone who supports the truth, and truth is truth. What he's saying is actually correct. Alright? But this is what you need to understand. This is how chess is played. So when you go and rattle two different cages, two separate cages, you got a cage of lions over there, and then you got a cage of wolves over there. And you're going, yeah, you're going to start shaking shit up. And then you just let everyone free. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be madness, obviously, yeah? So, Tommy Robinson, do I like Tommy Robinson? No. Do I support anything he has to say and anything like that? No, I'm not really for this guy. Like I said, if I saw Tommy Robinson, I'll kick him in his batty. And I'll feel no way about it. Yeah? Seriously. But truth is truth, so we're going to keep it real, innit? He is talking sense. It is due to kick off. When people are coming to these protests and they're doing all sorts of madness.
Statues.
And something else as well, I just want to say, innit? Black people don't give a fuck about these statues like that. We prefer to tear people down than tear down statues and shit like that. If you look at who was actually pulling it down, I guarantee it was probably someone who was paid a little bit of money to do it, knowing that when you do something like that, you are going to really upset the British people. You know those that really consider themselves to be the best of Britain. Yeah, you're going to upset these people, obviously. So that's what's happening. So you've got people like Tommy, who's upset. He's in his feelings. Yeah, he has every right to be in his feelings right now, because he sees it as this is his country.